IGEL's been a good partner of Imprivata's for probably about 5 years now. They integrated with us a while back, and really over the years I've seen IGEL grow a lot as a company. They've definitely made significant inroads in the US markets, and on the opposite side of things, IGEL's customers, they have a large presence in Germany. So initially there was a lot of reasons for us to work together, and then it's really expanded beyond that, where they've grown significantly in the US. We have a large number of customers that are using both Imprivata and IGEL, and then we've looked to strengthen it by making sure that the product experience is very exemplary, as well as the support experience and whatnot, so that if a customer wants to know that the solution is going to work well together, they know that they can trust two companies that have been doing business and working together for quite some time. One of the things that's really been great about IGEL is that they've gone above and beyond to make sure that their sales staff are well trained on Imprivata. So, overall, we trust them to be able to approach a customer of ours, because Imprivata in the US is in about 60% of hospitals. And we really trust them to be able to go into an Imprivata customer and to be able to speak proficiently and to know what the challenges are that Imprivata customers face, and really show the value of IGEL on top of that, and IGEL's thin clients, and how they sort of provide a step beyond that experience. How we solve security problems together it's really about ease of use, because in healthcare you have clinical staff, you have doctors and nurses that are extremely busy. In this day and age, they're expected to see more and more patients and to still maintain that high level of patient care. The challenge of providing that that superior level of patient care is tough when you're seeing so many patients on a day-to-day basis. And so when it comes to security, a lot of times security is seen as a barrier. If you think about adding a password on top of something, as simple as that might be, anything that requires extra effort to a clinical staff, be it a nurse or a physician, it's too much for them to deal with, right? They don't want to have to worry about logging into something or trying to deal with an added layer of security. So really, where Imprivata has been successful and where IGEL is successful is that we try to make it as easy as possible for clinical staff to adhere to a higher level of security without interfering with their day-to-day activities. So if I'm a clinical staff, be it a nurse or a physician, we make it easy by they can walk up to any thin client in a nurse's station and place their finger or tap their proximity card on a prox card reader and automatically be connected to their virtual desktop. So that saves them a lot of time, and clinical staff really like when we save them time, just because they're so overworked. And we take something that could easily be a 30 to 60 second process and turn it into something that's probably close to 7 seconds. There's a huge return on investment on having that full solution in place with IGEL and Imprivata and Citrix or VMware. I used to work in IT, and we went through the process of deploying the same type of infrastructure. And really, there's values in a lot of different areas. On the clinical side, we save them a lot of time having to log into the workstations, because on a thick client, it can easily take upwards of a minute to get into a workstation. And so you have staff that are spending upwards of 45 minutes a day typically trying to log into their workstation and into their applications. But also there's the frustration that comes along with that. So you want your clinical staff to be happy, and part of that is by making everything easy for them and fast for them. But then on the IT side, there's a lot of costs that go into maintaining infrastructure like physical workstations, where where you have the hardware costs and have to replace the devices on a 3 to 5 year refresh cycle. There's also the intangible costs of that workstation not being available for staff to use. and then the costs of staff calling into a support desk saying, hey, this workstation's not working for me, I don't know what's wrong with it, can you send somebody out? So there's a lot of pieces that really go into the overall solution expense on that end. When you take something like a virtual desktop infrastructure and put it in place to replace a lot of the other components, it saves a vast amount of money because you're taking very low cost hardware and putting it in place and making it faster for the end users and cheaper to maintain. And also the big thing is that with these devices, you can also a lot of times increase the refresh cycle from 3 years to 5 years or sometimes 7 years. And so in clinical environments like hospitals, they're always looking for ways to decrease costs and to be more efficient. And we've seen a lot of traction and a lot of adoption in healthcare customers.